to another episode of
Mum
and Son. I'm Jay, I'm the son.
I'm Alicia, I'm the mum.
Okay, so today's episode, do we just jump straight in for it?
Yeah, why not? I mean, something that we all need to talk about and all need to help others in terms of how to steer themselves positively through life. So, yeah, why not?
Yeah, definitely. Today's episode is about focus. Focus, I guess, can be seen in many different ways.
Yeah, that's true.
So we'll look at it from all possible
like
types
how
of
to
ways.
stay focused, how to become focused on what you're doing, how to stay focused once you are on track to achieve what you're doing.
Yeah.
And I guess how to focus on yourself too.
True,
as a person.
I mean,
so,
that's absolutely true. I think focus is something that's very important, especially when it comes to pursuing something, or as you said, even sometimes self-reflection when you're doing things.
We did an episode on that. So if you haven't watched that, go back and watch it.
That's our favourite word recently.
Self-reflection.
But it's such an important thing. So so focus is always needed in sort of many aspects. And the reason that we sort of naturally came around to think about a topic for this episode was
we were talking about focus.
We were talking about it
as we often do.
Because I was saying, wow, there's some external factors and things going on, and if you're holding out and waiting for something, some of the time to happen before you may make your next decision or your next choice or something like that, you could be focusing on waiting for the outcome.
Yeah, that's the important one. Do
you know the best thing?
Focus on yourself.
Focus on yourself during the time. Isn't it?
Yeah. So I guess what we're saying is in life there are options that you have or you can take in terms of where your focus lies in a given situation or circumstance. And I guess what I was saying to you in that instance is, sometimes in terms of external things, we can start off with that. Sometimes with external things, what I was saying to you is the matter is out of your hands. There's no more you can do to change a particular external circumstance that may be even working against you. And you're thinking, oh my gosh, what do I do? This external thing is happening and I can't do anything about it. And this could be in all instances. It may be a decision that is out of your hands. It may be that you're in a relationship and something is going to go wrong, or the person you're in that relationship with, there's nothing you can do more for them or for them, and that is like another external out of your hands. There are other instances that relate to work, friends, family, all other instances where you've done your best maybe to the point that you think, oh gosh, what more can I do? Well, what you need to do is accept that things on the external are beyond your power of change, and you have to let them be, and you have to accept them as part of the process. And what I said to you in that instance, the best thing to do in instances like this is focus on yourself, because that is something you do have the power to work on. You do have the power to change. You do have the power to refocus or restructure or self-reflect or whatever.
It's true.
So that's what that was kind of talking about in that instance.
And I think it's powerful because let's just say in a hypothetical sense that if you're freelance and you wanted to go with a client and you made a decision, you want to work with that person, in a relationship, could be you want to go out with a certain person, but you're now waiting to see what they respond, and see if what you want or see is going to go through or if it isn't. And we're using that as an example just to bring it in a broader perspective of life. It could be to do with a general job, it could be to do with something like that, relationships and so on. But the interesting thing about what you said, which I think has a massive point, is that by waiting out or holding out to see what's said first, you're focusing on what's the outcome going to be. And during that time, because depending on if someone gets back to you immediately, or they need a few days, or let's say, for example, if it's like a job and the interview process is done and you're waiting a few days, you can put yourself on hold some of the time, or the time that you're supposed to have to continue to work on yourself, you're not paying attention to, because your attention and focus is going on
the outcome,
the outcome. And I think the good thing about what you're saying about bringing it back to you, focusing on you whilst the external is going to do what it's going to do, is that you don't focus on uncertainty, you don't focus on will it or won't it, you don't focus on the doubts and the worries, because the more you're focusing on that, you end up, more things end up snowballing and appearing in that bring more negative things to think about.
I think so.
But when you work on yourself, hey,
you're free,
you're more productive, you're free, and you still push forward in a more positive way.
Because you're saying, listen, whatever will be, regardless of what decision is made, either for or against, I soldier on and I work on myself and I become the best I can be for any given situation, because it is out of your hands, you know. And so many people, I mean, we can probably do another episode on control, but so many people try to control external circumstances and waste their time and effort trying to control things that they actually have no control over. I feel, you know, this is just my personal point of view, I feel it's better to surrender to the process and move yourself forward to embrace whatever is going on within you and what you want. You know, if you focus on what you want, it's going to manifest easily, isn't it? If you focus on, oh my gosh, what will the outcome be? Will I get it? Will I won't? Will it come? Will it won't? Will it, you know, will they choose to be with me, or will they won't? Or, you know, or will I get the job, or will I won't? If you are going to focus on those things, then you are kind of bringing everything to a standstill. And putting it on hold, like you said.
That's true.
You know, whereas if you focus on yourself, you are moving forward and you are ready to be open to whatever will manifest for you. And when you know, then you know what to then do to focus on the next thing that you need to do to help things progress.
I totally agree.
That's what I think.
You know, I totally agree.
In the way that this type of focus is kind of being talked about.
No, it is. And I think this also rolls into focus as well, from that other side of the importance of it. If distractions or noise could be happening around you, and be like a waste of time, or things that will pull you away, maybe from, I'm just going to see in a sense of your path, or your direction of where you want to go. And if you sometimes, if your focus slips, you could be taken away from that easily, because your focus is now, your attention and focus is now gone on to something else.
And if we link it into what we were just saying, for example, if you don't work on yourself and you start focusing on the external stuff, even that shift in focus, as you said, can take you away. And it can lead to things like getting worried, getting anxious, you know, feel like you're in a tumble dryer or something, you know, being tumbled over about what's going to happen, where things are going to go next. And that kind of leads into the new type of focus you were talking about just now, which is, you know, if you have a goal, if you have an ambition, if you have a direction that you want to go in, and you are getting distractions, and those distractions are basically getting stronger than what your goal is, you need to make sure that you kind of self-reflect, consciously align yourself back to where your focus should lie and where your focus should be. What do you think in that case?
Yes, I like that's the power of focus at the end of the day. It's for me, I mean, I don't say the word often, but when I think about focus now, I realize that it's really important, because wherever your focus goes, that's whatever you're focusing on is going to grow, if that makes sense. Like,
absolutely.
You know, if you're focusing on, even we've done an episode about
positives and negatives,
and if you're someone who's focusing on the negatives,
that's where things are going to flow.
Exactly. And that's where it's going to flow, and that's what you're going to see just grow and multiply. Because you're focusing on it. But if you focus on the positives, you're going to start to see more positive things.
Correct.
You're going to see that multiply. You're going to see that grow.
Exactly.
So I think focus is so powerful.
Because you don't focus on what you don't have and what isn't coming to you. You focus on what you want and what you would like to happen and what you would like to unfold.
And as you said, that's true. And some people can hear that and go, yeah, but if I'm focusing on what I want, I don't have it. So therefore, but that's what you're saying. You're saying don't focus on the lack of not having it. Just focus on what it is that you want. That's all you need to do.
What do you want? That is the sort of the kind of the inner power that will bring it to you. It's focusing on what you want. And then sometimes, as we know, this is amazing how everything always links back. There are certain things, going back to the analogies that I was talking about. Someone may want that relationship with that person, or they may want a job with that company, or they may want a contract with that client. But at the same time, if they are those external factors of now the ball's in their court and you're not too sure what's going to happen, then focus on yourself. Focus on yourself and focus on what you want.
Exactly. Whether it's with that person
or the job
or whatever, or not. But what you ultimately want for yourself. What you want
for yourself, because anything else is you don't want the negatives to happen. You know, you don't want to focus on what you don't want. You don't want to fear for a moment that, oh gosh, if this doesn't happen, what am I going to do? What will happen to me? What will happen to our relationship? Or what will happen to my career if I don't get this job? And then, this will happen and that will happen. And, in those instances, all your attention is being transmitted across as coming from a negative place, isn't it? And, that negative aspect of what you're thinking, what you're fearing, what you're worrying about, what you're anxious about is actually coming into being without you realizing it, because you're giving it attention. So you have to say, what are the things that I'm giving my greatest attention to? The worry of it not happening, or the positivity of good things happening, something coming my way, So even if you do lose the job that you thought you were going to have, you trust something better is on the way for you.
That's true.
Even if you wanted a client, or you had or were waiting on a client, and even if it fell through, because you focused on what you want, you're going to manifest a better deal quicker, sooner than you expected. You know what I mean? You're going to, by focusing on what you want, you're going to bring that into being.
And that reminds me of most of the times in life, because I was going to ask a question of, do you think mostly in life we tend to, in the masses, tend to focus on the negatives more than the positives? And it's now just reminded me that not only do I see or feel that most times that's probably true, but I'm sort of also feel that we tend to focus more on the problems rather than a solution.
That is definitely one that we can definitely do. Those will be some of the next episodes, because those are powerful. Focusing on problems
we tend
rather
to
than
focus
solutions.
More on as you said,
that's
someone
very good.
Has lost a job, whatever. You're focusing on, I've lost this and and this now means that. When when you focus on your value or on a solution that can open a new opportunity, attract it, bring it in, or you can even find out your own answers based on focusing on a solution.
Correct.
That's when that's going to happen more, when you focus on a solution rather than a problem or something.
That's why it is so important to keep your focus, to keep, everything you're doing in sync with what you want.
Yeah.
Isn't it? Mm-hmm. Because even just talking about this now, you realise it just takes a little thing to happen and you're off course.
Yeah.
A little shift in your focus and, like you said previously, you're going in a wrong direction. You're going on a wrong path. You're taking the wrong turning.
Adrift.
Yeah, you're adrift because you've allowed such circumstances to pull you in. It's like the tide. Like if you're swimming in the sea.
That's true.
And I don't know about, but certain places they put a red flag up, don't they?
Yeah,
to
yeah.
say,
When
hey,
when you're going.
yeah, like this is a danger zone, and
Yeah.
you're swimming and swimming and swimming, and before you know it, you've been pulled by the current, and you're out of the safety zone, and you can see, oh my gosh, there's a red flag there. I need to get back.
Yeah.
It's
That's
like
true.
that, but on an energy level. Inevitably, if you lose your focus, you can get swayed, you can find yourself moving in the wrong direction. So it is key, and this is one of the things we talked about in the previous episode. You've got to keep your awareness sharp.
That's true.
So
That's very true.
or become aware when you are going off course.
Yeah.
Or become aware when you feel, oh my gosh, I really am losing focus now.
Yeah.
This is pulling me in the wrong direction.
And the thing about the awareness, because you talked about that, is this is the sort of the flip side, because I'm just thinking of an example of like a stressed out student that may go, well, I'm focusing, but am I over focusing, where they're studying and they're taking it too far, or it's eating up in their life, this and that. And what I say to that is that's when awareness plays a massive part, because awareness will always tell you if you're doing an action such as you're focusing or this and that, where that's really coming from. Is it coming from a place of fear? Because if it's coming from a place of fear, then that's the wrong type of focus. Because if it's like, I don't want to fail this and I'm gonna stay up all night and work and focus on it, that's more of like what I would say it sounds like to me, just in this sort of situation I'm talking about. It sounds more like a fear-based focus. Yeah. If you know what I'm saying, because the place it's coming from
is a place of fear and worry.
Fear, which is all from more of a negative kind of place. This and that. Yeah. So if it's that type of thing, that's when awareness plays a part, and you go, where's this coming from? And then you might need to do. We've done an episode on balance. You might need to bring balance, because there's nothing wrong with focusing. Yeah. But if you're coming from that type of place and it's grinding you down and bearing you out, and you're taking things too seriously, then you need to think, where's that coming from? And that's why like awareness is good, because there's that one of awareness of, wait, I'm getting distracted here and I need to focus more. And then there might be, maybe not as often, but a small percentage that could be like, I'm just so focused that I don't care about anything else. And like, I'm not sleeping properly and everything else is going out of the window. Yeah. And something like that, that's when that awareness comes in, when you go, something doesn't feel right. And it's not focusing that's the problem, but maybe it's the reason that I'm doing it, because I'm really maybe fearful of this or scared of this, and so on and so forth. So I don't know if that makes sense to people. I was just trying to look at the other side. Because someone who's like,
but I am putting a lot of focus, but things aren't going my way.
Like, it's taking its toll a bit. Maybe some people have said I need to lighten up because I'm too serious and too focused, and it's changed me as a person, or you know what I mean? Yeah. And if that's the case,
like all things, I think in life, you have to have a balance. You have to always come from a place of trying to find balance and harmony within yourself. In terms of your awareness, if you are getting stressed, if you are becoming anxious, if you are overburdening yourself by your focus, you will start to realize that your focus to shift from coming from a joyful place and a positive place to focus that is becoming negative.
Yeah.
You know, we could say for example, you know, someone who decides to stalk someone is focusing on the point that, you know, it's coming from a negative place and it's obsessive or something like that. You know what I mean? You have to rein it in. You have to say, I'm focusing, but in a balanced way.
Yes,
and you know, and I want to make my awareness that this focus that I'm having is coming from a place of balance and a harmony place. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
When you feel you're tipping the scale and it is becoming overbearing or negative or whatever, you have to then say, hey, I need to self-reflect. Realign myself with my highest sort of wishes and my highest goals, rather than ones that are filling me with fear and worry.
That's true.
And doubt. Like fear, worry and doubt, you're off the Richter scale. You're in the wrong direction, whether it's focus or anything else. Fear, worry and doubt, you're off the chart. You know, you're in the danger zone. In whichever way you perceive it. You've gone off, you know.
No, it's true.
So if you are a student and you were studying and you were focusing so hard on your exams that you found that, you know, you couldn't sleep, you know, all of this worry and fear and anxiety, you're off the Richter scale. That's not good focus. That is
because you think, but I'm doing it for a good outcome. But as you said,
the journey on it,
the reason based on why you're doing it, because when you look at it, it will always have a negative consequence. Regardless. So if you
when
are
you're in those zones,
if you are someone who's a student and you're doing that and that, is the consequence of your focus, if it's negative, or the things you're experiencing by doing it, if they're feeling negative, it means it's coming from a wrong place, or it's not right, or you need to go back to that awareness to figure it out. The same way that even the analogies I said in the beginning about even the external factors of waiting for something, but you're focusing on it. You may want that relationship, you may want everything, but if you're focusing on it, it's now making you worry about it. And worry about life right now. You're getting a bit anxious. What's going to happen? I'm not sure. The consequence of that focus in this moment to yourself is negative.
So
in a sense of it's creating these worries and stuff like that. So that's when you have to be aware and go, okay, I would love for that to happen, this and that, but I need to
focus on myself.
Be aware of myself and focus on myself. Because when you do something like that, the consequence of doing that is improvement, positivity, progression, maybe more self-love or gratitude or looking for things. You know, that's a positive consequence. That's positive. From your
and remember, even in the example of the student or a relationship, if something goes negative, or in the student, if they say, or you come from a place like, you know, like for example, I'm really focusing on my relationship, you know, again, you are focusing on something external without realizing it. Your shift from yourself has moved to a shift on the external. If you're focusing so hardly on your studies, you're saying, I'm focusing on this because I want the right result for my exam and I want to graduate or whatever, then your focus has shifted to the external, because you can't determine the outcome or the future outcome of what your exam result is going to be. You can't, you know, focus on the external of what the outcome of any problem or whatever in your relationship will be. You have to focus on yourself doing the best you can. And what do you want the outcome to be for yourself? If you're saying, I want to pass those exams and I want to succeed, stay just in that thought and in that moment and in that kind of line of thinking. The moment you overdo it, that you're going to actually be more destructive you know, you say you overdo it and you study so hard that you have no sleep, and on the day of the exam you fall asleep when you're trying to do your work, then you've actually, you know, self-destructed a situation. Same with a relationship. You have to focus on yourself, keep going, and allow more balance to come in. You're more likely to benefit from
true.
things being done in a balanced way.
But even when you were saying that, I started thinking about, because, you know, most of the time, well, not most of the time, but sometimes we bring up sports, and even athletes, when they train for whether it's a match or whatever it is, they obviously want to win that game or win that match or whatever it is. But when they're training, they focus on working on themselves, they focus on doing that, but they don't do that to the point that they do it consistently every single hour with no sleep leading up to the game. They do it, smash it, and do whatever they got to do to train and focus on themselves, and then they then have a rest period to recuperate and be ready, have that energy, and be ready to go for the match or go for the game when it comes up the next day or whatever. So, you know, even professional athletes who are the most competitive, have goals and want to do that, they focus on themselves and they work on themselves and they do things like that. But they also know that there's a balance of,
you've got to have balance.
Worked hard, so they need to now rest. So that they have energy, they feel fresh for when the actual event and thing comes. And then the other side of that is they might want to win, but they also know that by working on themselves and focusing on themselves, that's whatever outcome will come because there's no guarantee. But when they were working on themselves or focusing on themselves, they were doing it with the intention of doing their best, having the best outcome happen. And whether it does or whether it doesn't, they'll continue to keep focusing on themselves and keep moving forward
for the positive outcome. And as they do that, they're always, you know, looking at what they want to achieve. Not what the other team are doing.
Not what the other team is doing, but
and worrying about what the other team will do. Fair enough, they'll have their coach who will work through the strategy of everything, and they'll know what they kind of need to do when they play. But as the process goes, as you said, they get a nice balance between focusing on their own fitness and, you know, and team camaraderie and all that, and then, you know, they have a nice balance when the game starts and they know in their minds and in their hearts that they want to win. But, you know, if they start to focus on the other team to the point where, you know, they're not focusing on their strategy and what they're going to do, then, you know, they're actually helping the other team win by not getting things right in their own heads. Do you know what I mean? So it's like, you do need balance. You do need,
if you're over.
And you do need to let go of external things that you can't have power over. You only got your own internal power over what you do. And you have to kind of, just as I said, let go of what is out of your hands. Focus on what is within your scope and ability to do and achieve. Focus on what you want the outcome to be, and that is enough to make it manifest for you, you know. And you be flexible. You be flexible. You know, the more flexible you are and adaptable you are in life, the better outcomes you attain or achieve. You know, it's like, you know, like in when they look at the earth and they say, oh, you know, this species died out, this species died out. You know, you look at the species that have been adaptable that survive. You know, species that haven't been adaptable and unable to change, you know, they get wiped out. So you have to also accommodate, you know, flexibility within everything that, you know, we're talking about and we're being said. You can't be like a, I don't know, like a robot and too rigid. You have to be flexible. You know, if you find something is going off course, you rein it in. If you feel that you're over focusing on something that's pulling you toward the negative, bring it back to the positive things like that. So I feel, all in all, you know, it's you're in control of your own desires and things.
It's true. And I think in summary, as we said, it's when you simplify it, it's those two things. The focus on if there are things distracting you, and you gotta just focus back and just get back on it.
Yeah.
And then there's the other one, which I guess was the initial thing we started this with, is when there's like you're focusing on something because you really might want it to happen, or you're waiting on something, or whatever, but you're recognizing, actually, do you know what, it's creating some negative, I'm creating some negative feelings and things within me. I need to just focus on myself now.
Yeah.
And just see what plays out.
Yeah.
But regardless, just focus on myself.
Yeah.
And that's it. So, yeah.
I think when you take that decision, just before we wrap up, when you take that decision, it's a little bit about what we spoke about before. You're basically empowering yourself again. Yeah. You're putting the power back in your hands. And that's the only place it can be.
Yeah. When
you understand that everything else is external. This is all I have the power to do, to change, to work on. And you brought back to that place.
That's it. No, it's absolutely true.
Wow. Yeah. So, gosh, I hope you did enjoy this episode, because that went a bit deep. But,
it had layers and stuff.
It had
that's
layers.
What we like to do, because we don't know if there's someone watching this, and
maybe coming from
this side, or someone else may see it from that. So it's just trying to accommodate every kind of possible.
And then many viewpoints as people may have,
and whatever focus or point of view or whatever fitted in your life that we mentioned, that's the one you need to think about and work on, and then apply. Because everyone will have their different ones, like, that was more me, so that's what I need to do. And then for someone else, it may be that
some other word or some other thing we talked about may resonate with them.
Now a bit of balance and so on. So
so we hope we did our best to cover all sides of things as best we can. As you know, I mean, we can't cover it all, but let us know in the comments what you feel about this particular episode. Were you able to learn something? Did you find yourself going off focus, and listening to what we shared with you helped you get back on track and get focused again on the things that you can do? Whatever it is, let us know, because we like to receive these comments, and it's just really nice feedback.
Nice and stuff.
Because you feel what you're doing is getting out there. People are listening and responding to it. Isn't it? So that's why we love doing what we do with this. So I guess, I'll leave the rest to you, I guess.
As always, you like this episode, the feedbacks, the everything, likes, thumbs up, all of that is always appreciated. And if you haven't joined already, you're always free to join the family. So, and hit the notification bell as well to know about brand new episodes coming up. And there's also some previous ones that you can delve into and enjoy as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Join us on all of those other episodes, because they're all powerful, and you're going to learn something no matter what. Yeah,
there's always something there. So we got you covered.
That's a good way to put it.
Exactly that. Okay, so until the next one, this is MumNSon, and we're done. See you soon.
Bye.